Yehoshua, chapter 15. The territory chosen by lot for the tribe of the descendants of Yehuda, according to their families, extended to the border of Edom in the Zin desert, toward the Negev in the far south. Their southern border began at the far shore of the Dead Sea, from the bay facing southward, and went out south of the Scorpion Ascent, passed toward Zin, went up south of Kadesh Barnea, past Hetzron, went up toward Adar, turned toward Karka, passed toward Atzmon, and went out at the Vadi of Egypt, with the border ending at the sea. This will be your southern border. The eastern border was the Dead Sea, to where the Yarden entered it. The northern border began at the bay of the sea at the end of the Yarden. Then the border went up to Bet Hogla, and passed north of Bet Arava. Next to the border went up to the stone of Bohan, the son of Reuven. Then the border went up to Dever from the Achor valley, then northward facing Gilgal, that is across from Ma'ale Adumim, which is on the south side of the Vadi. Next the border passed to Ein Shemesh, spring, and went out at Ein Rogel. Then the border went up the Ben Hinnom valley to the south side of the Yevusi, that is Jerusalem, and the border continued up to the top of the hill in front of the Hinnom valley to the west, on the west, which is also at the northernmost end of the Rephaim valley. From this hilltop the border was drawn to the source of the Nephtoach spring, and continued out to the cities of Mount Ephron. Next the border was drawn to Baalah, that is Kiryat Yearim. Then the border turned from Baal westward to Mount Seir, past the spur of Mount Yearim, also called Kasalan, on the north, went down to Bet Shemesh and past Timnah. Next the border went out toward the side of Ekron northward, and finally the border was drawn to Shikron, past Mount Baalah, and went out at Yavneel, with the border ending at the sea. As for the west border, the great sea was its border. These were the borders of the territory of the descendants of Yehuda by clans. To Kalev the son of Yefuneh he gave a portion with the descendants of Yehuda, as Adonai had ordered Yehoshua, namely Kiryat Arba, also called Hebron. Kalev expelled from there 3 descendants of Anak, Sheshnai, Achamam, and Talmai, children of Anak. From there he went up to fight the inhabitants of Dever. Dever was formerly called Kiryat Sefer. Kalev said, "To whoever overpowers Kiryat Sefer and captures it, I will give my daughter, Aksa, as his wife." Othniel, the son of Kenaz, Caleb's brother, captured it, so he gave him Aksa, his daughter, as his wife. After becoming his wife, she persuaded him to ask her father to give them a field. When she got off her donkey, Caleb asked her, "What do you want?" She said to him, "Give me a blessing. Since you gave me land in the Negev, also give me sources of water." So Kalev gave her the upper springs and the lower springs. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the descendants of Yehuda by clans. The cities at the outer part of the tribe of Yehuda toward the border with Edom in the south were Kavzeel, Eder, Yager, Kinnah, Dimnah, Adada, Kadesh, Hatzer, Yitnan, Ziph, Telem, Beelot, Hatzer, Hadata, Kiryat, Hetzron, which is also Hatzor, Amam, Shema, Molada, Hatzar Gada, Heshman, Beit Pelet, Hatzar Shul, Beer Shiva, Bitzyat Yah, Baala, Iyim, Etzim, El Talad, Kasil, Horma, Ziklag, Madmana, Sansana, Leveat, Shilkim, Ayin, and Rimmon, 29 cities in all, together with their villages. In the Shephelah, Eshtaol, Zorah, Ashna, Zanoach, Ein Ganim, Tepuach, Enam, Yarmut, Adullam, Soko, Azekah, Sharim, Aditayim, Gedera, and Gederotayim, 14 cities, together with their villages. Znon, Hadasha, Migdal Gad, Dilan, Mitzpah, Yaktiel, Lachish, Bazkat, Eglon, Kaban, Lachmas, Kitlish, Kadirat, Bet Dagon, Naama, and Makkedah, 16 cities, together with their villages. Livna, Eter, Ashan, Yiftach, Ashna, Nziz, Keilah, Achziv, and Marashah, 9 cities, together with their villages. Ekron, with its towns and villages. From Ekron to the sea, all those near Ashdod, with their villages. Ashdod, with its towns and villages. Azah, with its towns and villages. To the Vadi of Egypt, with the great sea as its border. And the hills, Shemer, Yatir, Soko, Dana, Kiryat Sana, that is, Diver, Enav, Eshtma, Anim, Goshen, Holon, and Gilo, 11 cities, together with their villages. Arav, Duma, Eshan, Yanum, Beit Tapuach, Afika, Humta, Kiryat Arba, that is, Hebron, and Zior, 9 cities, together with their villages. Maon, Carmel, Ziph, Utah, Yisrael, Yokdeam, Zanuach, Kayan, Givah, and Timnah, 10 cities, together with their villages. Halkul, Beit Zur, Gedor, Ma'arat, Beit Anat, Elt Khan, 6 cities with their villages. Kiryat Baal, that is Kiryat Yearim, and Rabbah, 2 cities together with their villages. In the desert, Beit Arava, Midden, Sekaka, Nivshan, Hamelech, and Ein Gedai, 6 cities together with their villages. As for the Yevusi who lived in Yerushalayim, the descendants of Yehuda could not drive them out. So the Yevusi live with the descendants of Yehuda in Yerushalayim to this day. Yehoshua chapter 16. The border of the territory chosen by Lot for the descendants of Yosef began from the Yarden at Jericho, at the spring of Jericho on the east, went up from Jericho through the hills and desert to Bet-El, went out from Bet-El to Luz, passed on to the border of the Arkai to Atarat, went down westward to the border with the Yafleti, to the border of lower Bet-Horon, on to Gezer, and ending at the sea. So the descendants of Yosef, Manasseh, and Ephraim took the inheritance. The border of the descendants of Ephraim, according to their families, was as follows. The eastern border of their inheritance began at Atrot Adar, and went to upper Bet Horon. Then the border extended westward, with Mikmatat on the north. Next the border turned eastward to Ta'anat Shiloh, and passed by to the east of Yanacha. Then it went down from Yanacha to Atarat, went to Naara, extended to Jericho, and ended at the Yarden. From Tapuach the border went westward to Vadi Kana, and ended at the sea. This is the inheritance of the tribe of the descendants of Ephraim according to their families, together with the cities set aside for the descendants of Ephraim inside the territory to be inherited by the descendants of Manasseh, all the cities with their villages. They did not drive out the Canaani living in Gezer, so the Canaani lived together with Ephraim to this day, having become slaves to do the heavy work.